Hello, Master, and welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about the existential crises that come with unconditional love, because this is a big thing. When we really start to practice unconditional love and we experience that capacity to feel compassion and curiosity for ourselves whenever we want, when we can turn back into this is not my fault, there's nothing wrong with me, I am good enough how I am, right here, right now. I am worthy of love and safety and care. I am worthy of being understood in whatever's going on with me. I am worthy of being given compassion. And what do you need? And what is hurting? And how is this working? And where did you learn this? In whatever behavior I'm in. I'm worthy of being allowed to express my anger and my sadness and my fear. I'm worthy of the love that tells me that even though I'm scared and even though it's hard, I can do it. When we can step into that, more and more and more and more and more, there are going to be mixed feelings that come up. There is going to be existential crisis. Because number one, when we finally have anchored in that love that we've been searching for our entire lives since we were little baby children, and we realize that we can feel that love that we really thought was going to be the solution to absolutely everything. Right? What we thought, when I finally find the partner that loves me perfectly, when my caregivers finally love me perfectly, when I finally transcend my emotions and become the spiritual master I'm supposed to be, I will be loved perfectly. We're going to realize, right, all of these things that I was doing, trying to become more beautiful, trying to become more successful, trying to find my purpose, trying to become good, was all in this quest to find this unconditional love. Because we deeply believed that when we were perfectly loved, all of our pain was going to go away. We've been trying to fix ourselves and improve ourselves and change ourselves and to become the thing, and we've been feeling hopeless and scared and lost because we felt that deficiency of love. And because, again, right, that very first program we got was that the only reason pain is ever going to happen to me is because I'm not being loved. And the only reason I'm going to ever have anything good in my life is through being loved by somebody. We have that deep feeling that when I'm finally loved perfectly, when I finally become perfectly lovable, in whatever that's our definition of that is, right? Whatever our scapegoat is that we go to all the time. I just need to find my purpose. I just need to find connection to guidance. I just need to meditate more and become more spiritual. I need to perfect my body. I need to find the perfect relationship. I need to get the right job. I need to get the right amount of finances. I need to have success. I need social media followers. Whatever it is that we think we need, that we go to over and over and over again. If I could just perfect this thing about myself, if I could just fix this thing, I would be perfectly loved, and then life is going to be perfect. When we kind of hack that and we connect to that love just as we are right here, right now, there's going to be a letdown, because we're going to realize that love doesn't fix everything. Love doesn't fix everything. Love does not remove consequences of actions. Love does not necessarily remove past trauma. Love does not get rid of the things in our lives that are not working. And this may kind of trick us and trigger us into saying, well, it's because I still haven't improved enough. It's because I haven't found my purpose. It's because I haven't done this and I haven't done that. I'm not being guided. I don't know. When really, it's you could get to those things all you want. And they may add some happiness to your life. But they aren't going to take all the pain away either. Because in real reality, pain, what's happening with us, our lives, are a complex series of things. There is no one solution. There is no one thing that makes it all perfect, that makes it all good. Right? When we feel connected to love, I guarantee you this. You could have the perfect partner. You could have the perfect body. You could have all the money in the world. You could have a feeling of connection to infinite guidance. You could feel like you're living your purpose. And your pain is still going to be there. The past that hurt you that you haven't processed is still going to be there. Things that are out of alignment in your body are still going to be there. Other people and relationship dynamics that aren't the healthiest are still going to be there. How our society is set up is still going to be there. There is no one thing that solves all of our problems. Love does not remove the consequences of actions, and it does not solve all of our problems. Love does not take all pain away. Love is the foundation for helping us move forward with all of these things. Because again, in real reality, there is a system and there is a structure to how this reality works, as well as a whole bunch of conditioning and programming that all of us have received about what we have to do and what we have to be in order to be good enough, in order to be worthy, in order to have a good life. That isn't true. And a whole bunch of, truth of what it does take to feel good in this life that we didn't receive. And in real reality, there's never going to be a perfect. There's never going to be, and then I never had pain ever again. There's never going to be, and then I knew exactly what I was supposed to do with my life, and I did it, and everything was fine. There's never going to be the perfect relationship, and then that's it, we're in a perfect relationship. There's never going to be finding perfect health in our body and then stagnating there. There's never going to be no more tragedy, no more loss, no more change that we have to navigate. Love does not erase reality. And so there's going to be a letdown in that. There's going to be a, well, then what's the point? Why am I doing this? If doing all this work to feel love doesn't take everything away, why don't I just keep trying for this thing? Keep trying to fix myself, keep trying to improve myself, keep going for the thing that I think is going to fix my whole life. Because that might actually do it. But like I say, once we give ourselves that, this is why I'm doing that, I keep chasing my scapegoat, my coping, my numbing, my self-sabotage, because I really believe that if I just get there, I'm finally going to be loved, and then everything is going to be perfect. Or I'm using these tools to escape the pain that I'm in that I don't know how to deal with. And we want to hold on to the idea that the reason I don't feel good is because I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't perfected myself. I haven't gotten the thing. And that is why I don't feel good. And again, to a degree, that may be true. It could be that we have pain in our body because we really are sick. or the relationships that we're in really do need to change. But that will only be a part of it. And learning how to make those changes and how to do all that stuff, again, is going to come from a greater understanding that life will never be perfect and everything's going to be a journey. And so when we give ourselves this ability to feel this love, we're going to be, we're going to be giving ourselves the opportunity to weaken this belief that if I just become perfect, everything will be fine. Because we're giving ourselves the ultimate outcome of what we think that perfection of ourselves is going to lead to. Perfect love. And then we're showing ourselves that perfect love doesn't equal perfect life. Love whenever I want it doesn't necessarily mean I know what I'm doing all the time. It will even show us sometimes that purpose and living a life that's right for us isn't some predetermined thing that we have to figure out and get right and do perfectly, otherwise we're never happy. We start to realize that no, this journey of life is so much more about us just getting to know ourselves in every moment and doing what we can to support that. And that is our purpose. That is what it is. That is what it is to be alive. Purpose is not a thing we do. It's how we live our day every day. So I really want you to make room for the existential crisis and the letdown that learning to love yourself is going to give. Because at first, that's normal. Our inner children are going to be very disappointed and very upset that love doesn't equal perfect. Our adult selves are going to be very upset that love doesn't equal perfect. That love just helps us see steps. That love just helps us process the emotions we're having, right? So again, we can be in a state of love, and sometimes that will bring up sadness and anger and fear and trauma from the past, because we're finally in a place where we're internally safe enough to feel and process that. Love doesn't make the pain go away. It actually sometimes makes it bigger and louder. It makes our emotional pain bigger and louder. And we have to get upset with our caregivers. We have to get upset with the world. We have to cry. We have to be finally freed, right, from that shame and guilt that's telling us that our pain is all of our fault, and if I just fix myself, it'll make it all go away. And we go, no, I'm upset because of real things that have really hurt me. And it's not my fault. And now I'm sad, and now I'm angry, right? We get rid of that toxic fuel of it's me, I can just fix myself, I'll just do these things, and we're running away from our emotions. We love ourselves, and sometimes it'll smack us into that wall of just emotion. And then sometimes, again, we will come into that state of self-love, come into that state of unconditional love. And then everything gets more complicated. We see things we didn't see before. It opens our perspective and makes things more complex, not less. It makes us feel like, oh my goodness, I don't even know where to go from here. I don't know what to do. This is so much more complicated than I thought, right? When I love myself, it breaks me out of this, well, if I just fix myself and this is my solution, and therefore if I just keep doing it over and over again, I'm eventually going to get there. And we go, oh, okay, this isn't working. And then we get overwhelmed and we get scared and we get like, well, what the heck then? That's what love is going to do. It's going to wake us up to all of our emotions we've been running from and scapegoating and trying to fix in ourselves. It's going to wake us up to the complexity of life. And these are all good things long term. This is why you have all of your tools, right? We really slowly worked up to this. Because you needed those foundations and those tools for how to sit with emotions and work through them, how to validate yourself so that you can feel what you're actually feeling and process it, so that you can figure out step by step by step what you need to do for yourself. Sometimes it's just a processing. Sometimes we really do need to change the way that we're interacting with things, and you can figure that out by validating yourself and holding space for yourself and making all of your emotions right, even if they don't make sense to you. And saying, maybe I don't understand, like maybe my right now my reasons for why I think these emotions are happening isn't correct, but the emotion is correct. I'm not feeling something wrong. I may be interpreting it wrong. You see? You have all of these tools. You know how to do this work. And self-love and unconditional love will drive you deeper into it. It will drive you deeper into it. To seeing reality for how it is, for processing what you've been through, for feeling your pain, but also for finding your power. That is the main thing that on the other side of that existential crisis, which will probably happen multiple times. We're all going to cycle through it. It's not like a one and done situation. Because there's going to be layers to how we thought we were going to improve and how we thought we were going to fix our lives that we're going to have to let go of over time. And we're going to have multiple existential crises. But again, if we can hold ourselves through it, instead of going back to our stuff. But again, that's going to happen, right? We're going to kind of brush up against this, and then we're going to go back to our coping mechanism. And then we're going to brush up against it, and then we're going to go back to our scapegoat. And then we're going to brush up against it, and it's just going to take time. But the more we keep returning, the more we're going to have existential crisis, the more we're going to learn how to process through it, the more we're going to see ourselves through it, and then on the other side, we see reality clearer. We do get answers. There's going to be multiple dark nights of the soul where I don't know what to do. I don't even know why I feel so horrible. All of this stuff is going to happen. And if we stick with it and we stick through it and we don't give up on ourselves and we don't give in, we just keep being curious. We keep letting ourselves cry or scream or get therapy or whatever we need. We move through it. We get more awareness. We get more clarity. And then we can take steps. And this really does improve our lives. So it's not that we're stepping into a life of perpetual suffering and nothing ever being the answer. And, right, if there is no one answer, then we're just in pain forever. It's not that. We will have existential crisis. We will have dark nights of the soul. And it will open our eyes to the actual steps we can take. And it will open our eyes to the goodness that already exists. It will help us to see where there are things we don't need to change and things are fine and we can enjoy them. It will not take us into a life of just perpetual suffering. It takes us out of a life of perpetual suffering, where we're constantly thinking that we're going to solve our problems with a thing that doesn't exist, or a thing that isn't going to solve our problems. And then we find actual empowerment and take actual steps and feel that little bit better. And that is a good life. Better to better to better to better is so much better than the alternative that actually exists, which is staying stuck in a belief that something's going to work when it's not. Right? There is no perfect way forward. There is only the imperfect way where there is actual progress, which feels amazing. Or delusion that a perfect thing is going to happen to change our lives, which feels terrible. It's hopeful, then crash. Hopeful, then crash. This life is actually a life of progress and love and expansion. It's harder and scarier at times, but it pays off. This is the reality of love. The only real option that exists are stagnancy with false hope or real progress, which feels amazing. It's not perfect, but it's better. That's what love helps us do. Okay? So that's that. And we'll move on to the next practical thing in the next video.